Hi, I'm Doug Saunders, and I'll be narrating you through the picture slide on the standards that I set and the projects that I've done through the last 5-6 years. So what we're looking at is a renovation job where we lifted the house and did cribbing, and there was a lot of details to this home, and we'll be looking at it back and forth through this slideshow. So we got the house lifted there now, and we're about to put a new foundation in. This is another shot of a pond that was built around a home with lily pads going up to the front door, the whole house surrounded in water. This was for the #1 architect in Vancouver, or one of the #1 architects in Vancouver. This was one of the first houses I built for Treslini Chetner, and this is another house in the Southlands that I did as well, and we'll be looking at that one through. So here's some more of the pond around the house in the front gate entry. As you can see, we're setting up and stripping and cleaning, and this is the back side of one of the houses with a nana wall, and that's the garage that looks like a coach house, and that's the front of it. This was one of my favorite houses with the layout inside. And there's hardwood flooring throughout the house. Sorry about the blurriness of that picture. And this is the ensuite master shower and tub. It looks brand new, and that's the way I make sure my trades leave things when they are done. This is a house in West Vancouver that I did, very high end. That was 7,000 square foot, and you're looking at the roof, and that is a shelter building I put over top of it as we did the construction to keep us out of the weather. As you can see, we're doing an infill wood flooring, and I'm back to the house on the Langara Street. There's what the house looked like after we took it down off the cribbing and did all the finishing. Another final product done there on another house. And then again, this is the house with the pond all the way around it. You can see it is a very beautiful home. A lot of detail went into that, and I was very well awarded for the job that I did on this house. And there's the garage at the back. Back to the West Vancouver job. Here we were doing, there's the hot tub that was being formed in 10 feet off the ground, off the master bedroom. When you work with good trades, they make your life easy. And they don't have to babysit them as well. And I'm a true believer, only as good as the people that we hire. And there we are, compacting around the hot tub, getting ready for the slab prep. And here's a roof in West Vancouver as well, doing a torch on, facing the ocean towards Vancouver. Very nice view. Enjoyed that every day. And again, it's all about the trades that you hire. Look at the quality workmanship in that roof. This is a company I use for most of my flat work and pitched roofs. As you can see, I polished off the whole project to keep it dry while we were working away. That is a polished concrete floor, which was the final product there, what the clients wanted. A lot of work. I put some framing pictures in here so you can see my standards that I expect from my framers and the quality of their workmanship. As you will see too, that I do care a lot about keeping our projects nice and clean. And there's the deck off the back side of the house. As you can see, it's sloped in every direction. The drains haven't been put in yet, but as you can get a feel for it, you would kind of get a feel where you'd be putting them. There's a lot of deck on this house. And there's the poly job that I did again to show you the efforts that are put into keeping the house dry and keeping all the trades happy and working. And there's the front entry. And I took the shot just so you could see the detail in the scaffolding, the maze of scaffolding that was used for this house. There's our architectural concrete done and being touched up and polished out. And I always take shots of the radiant heat and electrical and stuff in the house. And you can see the quality workmanship done by this plumbing outfit. They are a stand-up bunch of guys, and their service work is just outstanding. That's the main floor of the house. You can see the fireplace in the back in the middle of the room. Very nice layout on the radiant heat. There's one of the manifolds. And then we're off into the backyard where we did a nice swimming pool and a concrete retaining wall in the back and a rain recovery tank for all the watering in the yard of the plants, all fed off the roof gutters and the roof drains. And back to the pool. Very nice job that they did on this pool. And this is a $2.2 million Paul Saga landscape project that I did. Now underneath that slab is a cave, and you will see pictures of it. And there's some Italian stone that I actually ordered from Italy. I had to wait for it to come. Great installers with that. And here we have one of the biggest cranes that you can get to move trees around. Some of these trees were very, very heavy and very, very expensive. This tree here was a $50,000 tree, shipped in from the United States. And then I get back to some walkways with rebar and concrete to show you the effort that is put in to properly make sure that we've got a good quality job and that the concrete can hold together well with the rebar. Yes, this picture there is a little bit messy. Sorry about that. As you're looking at the front of the building, as you can see, we're still working away. And that's Swiss Pearl, which is a composite board like a hardy board, but it comes from Switzerland. There was quite a few buildings during the Olympics that were used with this composite board. And there's the finished product of those stairs before we stripped it. As you can see, we're starting in on some of the landscaping. As you take a look, you can see that the floors are all protected in this project, and it's protected with a Donnacona board with a door skin on top of it. And here we got BC Hardwood Flooring doing the flooring. Another great shot of the composite Swiss Pearl product. It was an outstanding product. Made that house incredible. It just was the right fit. Great architects on that job. And here's the grandstands that I built in 2008. That seated 2,400 people, was with an extended hung-over roof off of it. It won Architectural Design of the Year. And here's the Surrey Pentecostal Church that I built in 2008 as well. It was an ICF building. Again, I was applauded for this building. I built this in just under a year. I am a certified ICF installer referred from Quadlock. I've done the biggest projects in the lower mainland, such as the Trinity Western Music Studio and the Surrey Pentecostal Church. And I've done quite a few very big homes. And we're talking doing ICF right to the roof and with wood trusses. The building was so tall, every one of those squares is a foot. So you can kind of get a feel for how big this building was. The sanctuary was approximately 40 feet. I always employ a family, and that is my daughter, as you can see. She has worked with me for many years, and enjoy her company on site. Just to show you that I am a hands-on kind of guy, as much as I was the site super on this job. I did do a lot of the concrete pouring, and you know the saying that if you want it done right, do it yourself. And when you're playing with styrofoam, you got to make sure you got somebody that's quite capable of pulling off these incredible pours. That's the one thing with the ICF. It's all about pouring the concrete in and having that styrofoam hold up. It's a talent all of its own. And then it's back to the grandstands that I built. As you can see, these grandstands stood over 60 feet tall with the pillars. And again, you're looking at me doing the pouring. As much as, again, I was the site super on this job, I was very hands-on and at the comfort level that it needed to be done right, so I again did it myself. This did win Architectural Design of the Year. I did this in Langley, in behind the airport. And we're back to our ICF church back in Surrey. You look at the grading, and it's done very nicely. Always a very clean project, very well maintained. Here's a shot of doing some framing work. Really was more the roof than anything. And then we got our matting for the slabs. And you can see this church is starting to grow pretty big here. You first can always go on to www.quadlock.com and look at Planet E Construction or Doug Saunders and look at the other projects that I have done with ICF. You're looking at the Hambro flooring system there. And you can see that there is some red steel beams. We're all done with embeds in the quad lock ICF forms. All the rebar in this project was all on 1 foot centers, horizontal and vertically. And we're starting to get to the height where we actually had to use genies and man lifts to do the ICF forming. Another great picture of me pouring. Now this is a project that we did. It was 11,000 square foot house out on the Fraser River in Fort Langley. All those silver dots are all embeds that you start to hang your rim board off to do your flooring. Again, as you can see, this was a very big home. It turned out very, very nice at the end of it. And here is the studio that I did out on the river as well. This was for conferences. It has a green roof on it and very big and open, and you can put quite a few people in it. This is about stage 2 of the house on the river here. This house was a lot of work. I even had to do a 22-foot high lock block wall, backfill it on 2-foot lifts, and then dig out for the foundation to put it in. Septic tank alone was worth $75,000. This is another concrete home that I built in Surrey, and it'll be the last house standing in that neighborhood. It was very well built, 3 level of ICF. I did 2 of them side by side, and these pictures are also on Qualock. Here's a house I did on 21st Street in Dunbar area of Vancouver, and that was 49th in Collingwood area. Here's a foundation that we put in when I had been working for Great Wall Projects. I did a few homes for them as well, and there's the finished product with that Langara house off of Jericho Beach that I did for Traslini Chantner. And I took these foundation pictures, these are all parts of the foundation. There, the foundation is good, the framing will be good. Here's a short clip on our demolition of the foundation we did. Hope you enjoy it, so I'll walk you through the rest of it. back to the foundation. As you can see, all the membrane and everything's on, and the gravel spread out, and we always try to tuck some of the lumber inside. And here we are again doing the site prep for the garage. And we're just about to start framing. Yes, that yard is not as clean as normal, but again, I can see that the roofer's just finished. And that's all that paper there, and plastic. There's the deck off the back of the house, just to show you how nicely and clean and straight it all is. One of my top framers. Very simple deck. There's a set of stairs that I put in myself. You can see, like I said, I am a hands-on carpenter and do have some skills. And we're getting ready to do the sump, so you can see we're protecting the dirt and the poly in the backyard from rain. This is right after we did the vinyl deck and getting it washed and cleaned and ready for protection, so that it looks brand new when the house is finished. It's all about protection of these homes, so there's a little less deficiencies to look after at the end of it. And this is something that I've taken a lot of pride in, is passing inspections first time and making sure all this protection's done, so when we're done, we open up this house and it's brand new. These pictures were taken just to show the efforts put into keeping the neighborhood clean with the dirt and the garbage that can come off of a construction site. That way the neighbors in the area are happy with you, and they'll start looking out for you and making conversations, and believe it or not, we get a lot more work that way. We just did the turf in the backyard. I built this house. It was 4,400 square feet. I built it in 8 months, and there wasn't one thing that we didn't do to this. We even actually managed to keep it down around $200 a square foot, believe it or not. That copper ceiling was a lot of work, but if you lay it out on the floor, it's easy to transfer it up to the ceiling. Kitchen all had nice granite countertops, shaker doors. Dining room had a nice fireplace in it. Very nice product at the end of it. You got your iron rod railings. Still missing the glass to pass inspection. As you can see, the stairs that I built turned out to be very nice. And the ensuite master bathroom. One of the more simpler tubs, but still a very nice tub. And a little bar that's in the basement in the theater room. I like to do half pieces of glass in the showers in the other bathrooms. And the finished product of the sidewalk and the lawn and house just about at 100% being completed. I did pass final occupancy first time on that home. And this is another house across the street that we built. Sorry that I don't have more detailed pictures on that project. This house had 2 stairwells. You can see it still had the threshold door protection. But very well done. Brand new fencing. Nice turf. And there's the Trinity Western Music Studio out at ICF that I did. And there's the hot tub up in West Vancouver that we had seen so many shots of. Well, there's the final product. Again, very great architects, worked very hard on this project with me, spent a lot of time. There's a fireplace in the middle of the house and a $360,000 millwork package that went into it. Again, I did finish that house in 14 months, 7,000 square foot. Here we're looking at a retaining wall built in the backyard in Shaughnessy on Connaught Street. It was a $1 million renovation that I did. We gutted this house, reframed it, turned the loft into a complete room. As you can see, we're looking at the footings and rebar, and pour day. I can remember that day. It was a very rainy day. Again, same framers as I use on all my projects. because they do me so well and I can trust that their quality's there. There's the final product on the concrete aspect of that retaining wall. You can see it's just about flawless. All the damp proofing done so the wetness doesn't soak through the concrete. One of the stairways coming down while they're doing the gas line from the garage. And the masonry work is for the most part done. Outstanding masonry workers. This matched the retaining wall in the front yard. Made it look like a castle. And we are back to the house with our gel windows and doors. Very, very quality windows and doors based out of Winnipeg. And again, I just took some framing shots to show you the standards that I hold to make sure that it's done right. You got good concrete and good framing, you'll have good drywall, good cabinetry. It costs nobody any extra time installing if everybody does their job right. Very important at this stage. And there's the loft that I mentioned. And the basement. Sorry for the blurry picture here. This is a project that we did in West Vancouver again. This is actually a duplex. I built 4 duplexes and 4 coach houses. So that was 8 units in total, not including the coach houses. And this house I did on 23rd and Dunbar for Great Wall Projects. This house was also built in less than a year. There's a small little paving stone project that I did, also over in the Point Grey area. And there's a little more of the coach houses over in West Vancouver. As you see, we had to build on this project with no backfill done. It was a horrible, horrible way to lose money. And we're stepping into when I worked for Max Projects Management. This is a creek restoration project I had to do and complete before they would give permits for the gas station to go in. This was a very old creek and needed a lot of attention. The fisheries were very involved with this. There's actually salmon that spawn in this creek during the fall season. And we know how the fisheries work, and they hand out fines to fund their next project, so a fellow had to be very careful because they are personal fines as well as the company fines. This was a bit of a nerve-wracking job, but we got through it. And you will see the huge changes that we did. We were actually finding salmon and trout and crayfish in this creek as we were building it. Brand new culvert that we put in, pumping water out to keep control of it. It was very, very wet season. Some days was 50 plus millimeters of rain. It was hard to control. And had a lot of eyes. Didn't help that the main fishery branch was across the road. Enjoy these short videos of the creek. Time is 11:51. The water's dropped about 1 foot. What a big change in this creek. After we pulled all the old creek out, We dug it all out. I pulled out over 50 trucks of contaminated soil beside this creek bed. Our body gas station. This was a 60-year-old gas station.
Good morning, this is Doug here with Max Project Management. We are doing our creek restoration project. It's October 31st. We have received 50 mils of rain. This creek project is flooded out. We've done everything that we can to seal up the banks and protect everything. We're pulling our hoses out. There's no way to control this kind of volume of water. I'm well aware, made G3 well aware of the situation and knew what today was going to become. I have G3 on site. That's one of them over across the way. We are struggling with the water today and need just to let the creek flow. We are going to do our best if this rain resides to try to get some pumps in, but right at this moment there is no getting any pumps in here to even come close to controlling this water. It's approximately about 3 feet deep throughout the whole creek. I will be videotaping back and forth through the day and monitoring what's going on, but at this moment there is not a thing that we could do to make anything better over here. We did all this prep work yesterday with the hoses, running them down the creek so that we could actually pump the water out of the culvert and try to control it, but unfortunately that is not going to happen here today.
Okay, here we are back to one of the West Vancouver projects, back to that huge millwork package and the quality built Afromosha hardwood flooring that was used on the treads and for most part throughout the house. Millwork company that I hired, they did an outstanding job. And there's the front walkway. And there's the backside and the deck facing the ocean. That was a $200,000 plus aluminum window contract. This had very big glass in it. Here's some projects that I did. I did 5 houses in 10 weeks. They were all just a spec house. I did it in Alberta. I put 240 hours a month in and got these houses standing so they could be sold. They had great framers. Well,
Take two.
Enjoy. Hope the slideshow was enjoyable for you. The last section of this is just a demo job. It's about 15 minutes long. I decided to throw in there to make it a little bit more enjoyable. You know, when you've seen a house before, with an estimate, this is a good one, a good operator. I hope you can see that I set standards in the way that I do things. I have a lot of passion. You love what you do. You always do it well. I've done some great projects. Have some great memories. Thank you for watching. Slideshow. See, this is why Great Wall Projects hired me, because they needed somebody that can look after the paperwork, run their jobs, get it done in the right amount of time, all worthwhile. This is what we get. Somebody that comes in, understands construction, very organized, knows which is the right people to use to get the job done. I do outdo anybody that works beside me. Quality and speed. When you're organized, you've got passion, you enjoy what you do every day, you always do it well, you always do it better than somebody else. That's just what
And that's how fast a house can come down.
Always come back and want to live for you. Count my sort of project, think of the clients, think of my employer.
We'll huff and we'll puff and we'll excavate your house down.
For somebody that's never seen a house being knocked down by an excavator before, it's pretty impressive. For some of the builders that I've sent this out to that have seen it, it's probably not as enjoyable for you to watch, and you might not have made it all the way through this video. But at least I wanted to put it in to show you that I'm on site, looking after the projects. Know which is the right person to have to do the job. And it goes with all the trades that I deal with in all the sectors. It's all about delivering a product. And I always deliver, make sure that it's the best. Details matter.
And that's it.